I'm going to go over the case of Susn Jacobson, who disappeared from the Sacramento area back in 2013. She just disappeared from a shopping center. It's coming up next. So on May 1st, 2013, Susn Jacobson left her home to go to the Raley's supermarket that was located on Wood Creek Oaks Boulevard and Pleasant Grove Boulevard in the Sacramento area. She lived in Roseville, which was in the Sacramento metropolitan area. And she left around 7 o'clock in the morning. Now, her husband had already left around 6 that morning to go to the gym. So she got in a car and she drove over there. It was a quick drive. Wouldn't take her any time to get there at all. But she never returned home. So when they went looking for Susn, her blue Honda Civic was found in the Raley's parking lot. Now, it wasn't parked next to the door. It was parked more towards the middle or the back of the parking lot. And there was a lot of other businesses around, but they weren't open at that time. But when they went back to see if there was any video that would catch Susn driving in or her getting in or out of the car, there was none. They weren't able to find anything. So they have no clue who drove that car, whether it was Susn or not, and how the car got there and why it was parked so far away from the front of the store, especially since that's where she was going, was that store, and none of the other stores were open at that time.
The 59-year-old seems to have parked in the middle of this lot, far from store doors and the reach of surveillance cameras. An hour later, a jogger found her empty wallet on the sidewalk on the part of the lot closest to Matheny Park and turned it into Starbucks right at the corner of Wood Creek Oaks and Pleasant Grove Boulevards.
So the person was jogging by the park and found it on the sidewalk, and she picked it up. She took it over to Starbucks and she turned it in. Well, she became the mystery woman during that time when that happened, and her photo at the Starbucks was shown. And then as soon as she heard about it, she went to the police and talked to them about how she had found the wallet, where she had found it. And she said that there was no cards and there was no cash inside the wallet. But evidently there was her driver's license laying there on the ground, and I don't know if she picked all that stuff up. Didn't go into too many details, but I'm assuming maybe she did grab all the stuff that was laying on the ground and the wallet and got it together and took it over to Starbucks. I don't think she would leave the driver's license laying there. And I'm pretty sure that's probably how they were able to backtrack that it was even Susn's wallet in the first place. Now, the Good Samaritan that did this never identified herself. She did to the police, of course, but it never came out in the media who it was. But she said she was jogging over by that park, and on the sidewalk, she found it just laying there, and she picked it up and turned it over to Starbucks. I guess she figured since it was right across the street that may be the best place to take it. And to quote one of the things she said that I just saw business cards and stuff all over the sidewalk. And then I realized there was a purple wallet there with it. So I bent down, and first thing I saw was her driver's license. And that was the woman who found the wallet. And this happened about 2 hours after Susn left her house. So this narrows down the timeline. So Susn left around 7, and her car got to the Raley's parking lot 7:10, 7:15. So somewhere between 7:15 and 9 o'clock, she went missing. Now, there is something else I want to read here to you, what the husband said. And he said, I've read, and the stuff they told me and everything, the husband is 90% of the time the party they look at. And so I know they're going to look real hard at that. And I believe they've looked very hard at that, but there's nothing there, Chris Jacobson said. He also said that he did not take a lie detector test under the advice of his attorney. So the Roseville Police Department, they're reaching out to everybody. They're still working on this case, and they're looking for any kind of information to help them solve this case. If you remember being in that area at that time, if you remember seeing anything, maybe you saw the car parked there. Maybe you saw it before or after. I remember many years back when I was living in a condominium back in San Diego. I was walking with my husband, and we were walking the dog past this child care center, and we noticed that there was a cot laying in the middle of the parking lot, one of those cots that little toddlers lay on. It was laying there in the parking lot, and I was thinking, oh, look at that, you know, kind of looking at it because I kind of like looking. I never know when I could recycle things, stuff like that. And I remember really looking at that. And then we noticed there was other things over there that looked like that somebody had strewn stuff, paperwork all over. I thought it was rather strange. And they come to find out just the following day that a woman had disappeared from that child care center. And evidently, from what I seen, she must have been struggling because there was paperwork in the parking lot, and that cot was laying there, and I thought that was awful strange. So of course I called the police and I told them what I had seen at that time, and eventually they were able to catch who, and it turned out to be her estranged husband that had done it. Never knew at the time that I was crossing a crime scene. I had no idea. So that's why I'm bringing it up to you. If you think that maybe if you were in that area, rethink back in your mind. Is it possible you might have seen something, or you might have noticed something, and might have been a crime scene and you didn't even realize it at that time? So if you have any information about Susn Jacobson and what might have happened to her, please call the Roseville Police Department. All right, that's it for today. Thank you so much. See you soon.